Beautiful. Yeah, so Bitcoin is something else today. Finally activated our mean reversion, which is good. It's beneficial. Right, because in our last live stream, we talked about how there was volatility overhead. And with that, there was the concern that if trend began now to the upside, it would not manage to extend to the metrics that we would find beneficial, right? So we had this tiny bit of volatility overhead here, and we had this new upward expansion. And the idea was this trend would likely see heavy resistance rather than seeing continued trend. So the best thing that could happen for Bitcoin is if it went back into compression as quickly as possible, right? Because if this was strong and it pushed up against volatility overhead, that would cause re-expansion of the higher periods. And that leads to more exhaustion, right? So if this is just a little hump and then trickles back, you have far more potential energy because you didn't create any turbulence on the upside. Whereas if this went high and then came down, all this here gets re-expanded and it needs to once again compress before we can resume a significant trend. So this here, this is good. Pulling down here is really nice. We take a look at the 4-hour chart. What do we see? Activation of mean reversion. Very nice. All right, so this here would have been an entry, right? Confluence with CLCP and LUX, very clean. This would have been a great entrance, very nice. And then as soon as it breaks here, we close out, right? And then instead we look for a new short position. How do we do that? We look for our swing high. Which has been very well defined by the CLCP, right? That's a very consistent pivot. So if we swing up and touch this, we would short that to 300 moving average. Simple as that. Do we have converse expansion on a lower time frame? We do not. Cool. Yeah, so simple chart. Right now, just wait for your short entry. It's going to be a very small scalp to the 300 moving average on the 4-hour chart. Easy play. As soon as this all completes, we can once again stay on the lookout for new expansion. First up, we are going to look at Dominion Energy. I don't know what that is. D. Net income looks fine. Okay. Retail energy operations. Daily chart, very consistent downtrend. Very clear. Bouncing off the locks. Yeah. This is maxed out, so we need to go to the 6 hour. Yeah, no, trend looks consistent, but I'm not seeing a reliable pivot to play. XPD, Palladium. Really quiet. It's been quiet for a while now. Very slow trickle of a downtrend. They're playing with it back here. It's far more volatile. Has calmed down quite a bit. I'm not seeing significant expansion. This should form a CLCP here. Might be scalpable. Yeah. It's not contained by any blocks, so I'm hesitant. Take a look at Ocean. Quite the pop off today. Okay. This is technically an expansion. I'm interested. Nice. Expansion's very clear here. Bit volatility overhead in the lower time frames. Yeah. You could still play this. I recommend 2 hour just for optimal resolution. Coming in here on the 100 period. If we just tag this 100 period logs, take that as a long, that would be pretty clean. If you're in the mood for a mini lesson, can you talk about how to utilize the 0.1 logs multiplier band? Yeah. So essentially, it just functions as a CCI roll visualized in not a normalized form. So let's say you have an active MR, like here. That's not clean. It's got a cloud here. Okay. Cool. Right. So clean plume. Mean inversion activates here on entry. What do we look for a short signal? A CCI roll in the direction of the mean, which would be price exiting and re-entering as a CCI roll, right? Because it's just 1/10 period, back into itself. When that happens, that's our confirmation of the swing high towards the mean. So it's just used to capture entry in a reliable manner when there's not a CLCP available. Okay. It's going to be it tonight, folks. It has been a pleasure. I will talk to you all later. Ciao.